Hey, and welcome to another edition of Tea with Tasha. I actually have some tea today. Um, but I wanted to just, first of all, thank you for watching, liking, sharing, all of it. I'm grateful. Thank you. I'm so blessed. And I just want to share and give wisdom, advice. And man, I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. I hope you are learning something, dealing with things, whatever. I am happy. So I wanted to get into just a few things. Um, so if you're talking to somebody, if he falls off, let him. Men's actions speak louder than their words. And it just is what it is. You never know what people are dealing with. I think in this day and age, we all have to just assume that everybody's going through something. Everybody's going through something. People are going through things just unimaginable. And so you just never know what place and position people are in. And when you're dating, you really do need to be, if you want to attract a healthy person, you need to be healthy yourself. Because we can only attract what our soul can, attract. We're going to attract versions of ourselves. And so if you aren't the best version of yourself, then you're not going to attract what it is that you really need in your life. One of the things that I did want to say is if he wanted to, he would. And I just never want anybody to be in a place where thinking, oh my God, he didn't call, or this and the third. As women, men pursue and men choose wives. And so that's the part that we have to deal with. That if they don't choose us, they just don't. But I would not take it personal because, there is one man out there for you and there's one somebody, maybe even two. Relationships are what you make it. But if he doesn't, it's probably for the best, because if he couldn't choose you in the very beginning when everything is new and happy and easy, then how can he choose you when those times get hard? Because times will get hard. Things happen. Life is difficult. Life will be, I'm sorry, not can be, will be very challenging. And so if you don't have a team player, somebody that can help and support you and help guide you through your situations, if they can't be consistent in the smallest of things, and they won't be consistent in the bigger of things. Everybody wants a good woman, and everybody wants a good man, until that good man and that good woman require you to be that. So every man wants a good woman until that good woman requires him to be a good man. Every good woman, wants a good man until that man requires her to be a good woman. Everybody wants that, but it's going to come with requirements. If you're dealing with things in your life that are challenging, it's best and easiest to deal with them when you're single, because you have just yourself to focus on. Deal with some of those things, because not everybody is ready. Like, you might be dating and everybody is not ready to deal with the requirements. Sometimes men are just not ready. They're just not ready to deal with the requirements of a relationship, the requirements of having to deal with somebody else's feelings and having to kind of prioritize them. And if they're not ready, leave them be. Don't let hope kill you. Don't stay on the line and stay involved, because that's something they have to work on, and that may be something you have to work on, because being in relationships is going to be really intense. And so if you haven't dealt with your fears and all that kind of thing, then it's coming. When you get into a good healthy relationship, but you have to be healthy yourself. So you have to have dealt with past trauma, abuse, whatever. Why you keep attracting this type of man. But even with that, why do you keep entertaining this kind of man? So we can attract a great number of whatever, but it's what we entertain that's really gonna affect us. And that's what's gonna take your time, who you entertain. If he shows you he's not on nothing, then believe him. when he showed you the first time, because it's true. You know, he's telling the truth. He's showing you the truth. So, and understand, like when you're dating and when you're in relationships, that, you know, everybody might not be ready, and that sometimes men are dealing with things too. A lot of times they have lives and hurts and pains and losses, and they're dealing with things too, and they might not be in a position to give you what you want. I've heard that multiple times. I can't give you what you want. And they can recognize that. I can't give you what you want. Whatever the love story, whatever it is, the house, home, whatever. They can understand that, and they can see that I can't give you what you want. And I mean, it is what it is. I wish that I had listened more. And when somebody said that to me, I got it after a while. I remember after a while, like I had a guy, he was like, I mean, man, I wish I was ready. And I can't give you what you want. And I was like, okay, say less. Say less, because it's more where that came from. And he literally said, man, I wish I was in that position, but I'm not. And it is not your job to hold on to hope that he gets there. You know, it's not your job, and don't do it. Don't wait thinking that he can understand that he can't give you what you want, but what's the path? You know, like, what's the path to get there? And it essentially may be, I can't give you what you want. You should move on. And he may grow up and mature and evolve and give it to somebody else because he can. Because men want to be seen as, you know, the men that they are. And if they're already at a deficit and can't give you what you want, then your requirement's just too much for him. He just have to, you know, he might be out of his league on that. And men choose based on what they want. You know, you might be out of their league, or that you might not be where you want them to be, or where they want you to be. You know, they looking at everything. You know, they not just looking at, oh, she cute, oh, she this. They looking at everything. And why sometimes women can have their heads in their clouds thinking, oh my God, no, you need to be looking at everything, because to death do us part is a long time. For the foreseeable future is a long time. If you're miserable, like, it's a long time. And so understand that, you know, when you're talking to people and dealing with people, be gentle, you know, because people have been hurt, and especially, you know, men have been hurt. They have been bruised, and men don't deal with hurt the same way that women do. A lot of times men get hurt one good time, man, they put their heart in the back corner, locked up, you know, chains on top of it. Like, that was a horrible experience for them, horrible. And they do not want that to happen again. So they, you know, guard their heart. And unfortunately, sometimes they won't open their hearts to the right person because they have been hurt, and they do not believe that, you know, it's not going to happen again. So in your experiences, be gentle, because we don't want to burn people, because, you know, it might not be your husband, but it's probably somebody else's husband. And be kind in your experiences, you know, be kind in your conversation. And if you're in a situation, relationships, you know, that's why I say you need to be the best version of yourself, because you need to be able to know what safety looks like. You need to be able to produce safety from yourself. You know, they need to be able to express their feelings to you, and you not degrade them or talk about them, or, you know, make them feel a certain way. Like, you know, you want that security just as much as they do. So be kind, you know, be kind in these experiences with people. Because especially if you're online dating, you're probably just going to come across a lot of people, because it's just a lot of people out there. But just be kind, and, you know, disengage if it doesn't fit for you, and just say, like my line, if I could see, you know, this was going whatever, I would say, well, this isn't working, but good luck on your journey. Good luck on your journey, because this is not your destination, but good luck on your journey, because I'm not going to waste a lot of time on something that's not right for me. You know, once you get to that point where you've honed your skills enough to know what looks right and what is, you know, what feels right and what is right for you, then you'll learn to move on quickly in your process. And so, you know, like I say, men close themselves off, but unfortunately, sometimes women either they shut themselves off, or they continue to get out there and hurt themselves. So a lot of women shut themselves off. They cut themselves off to keep themselves safe. So they in the house, they don't date, they don't, they don't really want to talk to anybody. And you're not going to get comfortable with that until you just start getting out there and getting comfortable, because if you are dating and, sometimes people can get frightened by the vulnerability and frightened by the intensity of the feelings and frightened by, just things moving forward. Like, you have to be able to deal with those emotions and deal with those feelings and deal with that, because it's the stuff from your past probably going to pop up, like feelings and, triggers. That's what it is, triggers. So you have to learn how to maneuver through getting to know somebody, especially when they trigger you. Because because you don't even know the trigger until it's already triggered. That's the thing about it. Getting to know somebody, excuse me, you don't even know the trigger until you hit it. And the other person may not know the trigger until, because some of that stuff can't be communicated. Some of that stuff, it just is what it is, and you just have to learn. And sometimes you learn in a hard way. You don't know what those triggers look like. That you could say something, you could do something. It could just be anything. And, the person could get upset. You could get really upset because it takes you back to a place that you didn't want to be, like a negative place or a place of hurt or pain, or, something like that. So, know that your best emotional health is in your best interest when you get to know somebody, because things are going to happen. Feelings going to get hurt. It just really depends on how quickly you can resolve, like I say, resolve conflict, resolve, hurt feelings, resolve, disappointments, or resolve miscommunications. Like, it could get, sticky. And so you want to be able to be in a position where you can deal with those things. If you have not been accustomed to dealing with your own feelings, how are you going to deal with somebody else's feelings? How you going to deal with, your bonus children and in-laws and cousins and families. And I mean, it's just a lot. So learn how to deal with your feelings, learn how to deal with other people's feelings, and listen and be compassionate when you're talking to people. Be compassionate and in your circumstances. I remember I was talking to a guy, and he was really cool and just really nice. And I had some pain, like from my divorce or whatever, and he was able to identify it and was able to just say, hey, this is what it is, and you don't have to do this. And, like, I can't remember exactly what the issue was, but it was some type of pain, and he helped me address it. And I was like, wow, that was so cool, because he had been divorced longer than I had been. And so he had been there already, like had been through the process. So it was like really cool when you can talk to somebody and connect with somebody, and this might not be your person, but because you're compassionate and genuine, you can learn from each other. You can learn, how to be better people, partners, mothers, wives, cousins, aunties, all of that, and it was just like a really cool experience, that when you're dating, it may not be your person, but it could be, a pathway to your person and a pathway to a better you, because if you've never been divorced or you've never been at this age dating, you don't, it's all new. You're trying to figure it out. And I was grateful that I could find somebody that was kind and could, educate me on something. It wasn't like just trying to take advantage of me. Like, that was cool. And like, I remember even, talking to this one guy, and like, he had, like, say he had been married before, he had cheated, he had did this and did that. And so, but he had become a better man. And he was like, I don't know why it's taking so long. I want a good woman and I want this. And I just said, how dare you? How dare you? Like, you've been out here, you know, and cheated on your wife and, out here dating and had these experiences, and you haven't been the best person. And so now all of a sudden that you decide that you want to be a good man, now you want God to send you somebody right now. Now you want the best. No. No, you take your time. You allow God to, to mold you and to get you together. But how dare you, be so impatient because the moment that you decide that you want to be better, now you want her to show up. No, that's not even fair. That's not even fair. That's not how it works. You reap what you sow. And so start sowing some better seeds so something can grow up and grow and evolve into something better. Just because one day you decided to be better, no. Whatever life you want, start sowing seeds for that life now. Things don't just happen. The life that I have right now is amazing. I've been sowing seeds for a long time. And when I got divorced, I went through that pain. But I started sowing seeds and I started praying and I started making affirmations, talking about what I wanted, how I wanted it to be, that we was going to get along well, that we wasn't going to have no problems. I started sowing seeds and praying and asking God for something better in my life. It doesn't just happen. Like, start speaking life into your own life. Start speaking positive things because, your mouth going to control everything around you. If you say ain't no good man, then ain't no good man. If you say I can't never get things together, then you just ain't gonna never get things together. Like, you got to get your mouth in control. You got to use your words to your benefit. You can't let pressure hit and then you start going off and saying all kind of crazy stuff. Words get planted and their words grow up. So if you continue to say negative things to yourself, you're going to have negative things. But if you start saying positive things, speak positively to yourself. Speak positively over your kids. Speak positively in your circumstances. Speak positively at your job. Speaking positively, positive things will happen. Say you're going to have a good experience. Say you're going to, get this new job or whatever. But, speak life. The power of life is in the tongue, baby. It is. And if you out here speaking negative things, and negativity gonna keep coming. The universe is waiting on you to say something. The universe is waiting on you for some words to plant and grow and plant them and water them. Water your good words. Water, what it is that you're trying to cultivate in your life. I speak with my children daily that they are developing and functioning as they should, that they are being their best selves, that they're achieving success, that they are able to take advantage of the best that life has to offer, that they are on path, that they are on path, that they're doing the right things, that you keep them safe. Like, speak positive things, and positive things will happen. And you want that, you want to create that positive energy within yourself, so that you can attract positivity. If you feel like you're having a hard time attracting a positive, good man, then, maybe something ain't right on the inside. Get your soul in a place where, like, now I'm in such a good place. Negativity don't even really bother me. Like, when people start like being negative or saying negative things, like, I used to be so easily offended by like criticism, or easily offended by somebody like a hater or whatever. But now, man, I'm in such a good place that the negativity like literally just roll off my shoulder. Like, I don't absorb it. I don't absorb it. Like, when people do things, I'm in such a good place. First of all, I got 100 things to do. And dealing with some nonsense is just not one of them. But it's like, I don't stay in that space, like that negative tit for tat, just whatever that is. Like, I'm just in such a good space that I can really only deal with from good to good to good to good to good to good. if you in my life and you causing great anguish and stress, I am going to find a way to correct this. I am going to find a solution. We are not going to be fighting about this. We are not. Something has to change. But that's part of evolving into a better, healthier, happier you. Whatever your best you, he deserves it. Like, deserves it. You deserve to be the best version of yourself. You deserve it, girl. Go after it, man. Get it. Get it. Life is meant to be lived and lived today. Whatever you want, don't be so afraid or whatever. Like, don't let fear keep you from your dreams. Man, I say shoot for the stars, land on the moon, whatever. Keep it going. Like, you want that for yourself. Don't be afraid. Trust God. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to give up this little bit of what you think you have to go after the best thing in your life. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Because, you know, when you walking by faith and walking, man, I swear to you, I have been in 1,000 situations. The door did not open until I got right up on it. I mean, right up on it. It never opened way back here when I could see everything. No, the door opened when you get right to it. God made a way right when I put my faith and I put myself in a position to be able for those doors to open. So put yourself in a position for the life that you want. Go after it, girl. Go after it, man. Go after it. You know, I teach my kids, go after the things that you want. Go after them. Don't sit up here and be afraid and don't settle. You know, like my daughter was at one job and I said, hey, that's not your final destination. Go after it. And she did. And she got it. And I'm proud of her, you know, but that's how I raise them. Like, no, don't be complacent, you know, with things that you don't want in your life. You know, cultivate something that you want. I look around, you know, every day I wake up, I'm like, man, I can't even believe this is my life. Like, I can't even believe how blessed I am. I cannot believe it some days, but I accept it and I'm grateful and I'm happy. But I've been speaking life on my life for a minute. Like, from that's one thing my mother taught me. I learned, speak life. Speak life. You know, speak what you want into existence and go after it. You know, don't just sit and think it's gonna come to you. No, we walk by faith, not sit and watch. We walk, baby, walk to it, walk to it. You know, get out there and make steps, improve yourself, you know, take classes or, you know, educate yourself because you want to, you know, be knowledgeable, you know, and if you have a husband, you'll need somebody that knows how to have resources and knows how to get things done and, you know, is not easily frustrated and easily, you know, how you going to manage a home if you can't manage yourself? You know, sharpen your skills, be the best version of yourself that you can be for you, and everybody around you will be blessed because of it. But be the very best version of yourself. Don't run in circles, girl. Don't chase your tail. Stand up and make changes in your life for you. And I remember, I think it was February of 2018. And I looked around and I said, this is not the life that I want. This is not the life that I want. That I want a better life. And I literally started picking up myself. Like, I was renovating my shop. At the shop I was renovating, and I didn't have no money. I didn't have nothing. All I had was a gallon of paint and a paintbrush, and I picked it up and I started. And when I tell you, God opened doors, every single door I needed. You know, like I say, I make plans. I ain't got to have the money for it. I'm going to make the plan because God going to meet me where I'm at. You know, I was teaching my daughter that. She was like, well, I ain't got no money. I said, girl, you know how many plans I've made with $0? $0. I make the plan because it starts with my heart. It starts with my mouth. It starts with my faith. And I go from there. And when I tell you, that February, I decided I was going to change my life. little bit by little bit by little bit. And how many years? Was it 5 or 6 years later? I'm here. And I'm here, and I am having a good experience with a good life, and my kids are at peace, and things are good, and I am happy. I mean, from my soul happy. And people could see it. They would be like, "Oh my God, you glowing." And I'm like, I'm happy. And real happiness comes from the inside. And it doesn't come from a marriage. It doesn't come from a car, a house. It comes from within yourself. Now, those things may make you happy, but if you don't learn to be content where you are, things will make you temporarily happy, and then once you get them, it'll dissipate and you'll be back where you were or where you were. Happiness comes from within, and you're gonna have to generate within yourself. A man not gonna make you happy. Having a man not gonna make you happy. Because if you don't have the happiness within yourself, you're not going to be able to sustain it. Happiness comes from within. Look at your life. Look at what you're going through. Look at how you want it to be. Make you a plan. Take you a step. Walk it out. You might not be able to change your life. I think a lot of times we get caught up in trying to change our life in an instant. You might not be able to change your life in an instant. Most likely you won't. But I can guarantee you can change your life in 2 years. You can change your life in 5 years. You can change your life in a year, 6 months. It just depends on how much effort you're willing to put into it. How much effort you're willing to put into it. But you can change your life. My life looks so much different than what it did 5 years ago. I mean, so different. I'm in a whole different place. But that's because I decided, okay, I want a better life, and this is what I'm going to do to get it. I'm going to trust God, and I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to keep moving forward. Get the life that you want, girl. Get the life that you want. It is possible. It is possible. Just make you some steps. Get out there and start. Let it snowball. I'm telling you, God will be excited to bless you, excited to do things for you, excited to give you new opportunities, but you got to get out there, speak it into existence, and start moving, doing something. Man, get it. I hope you have enjoyed this tea with Tasha. Man, it has blessed my soul. It has. Man, I'm so grateful. So grateful. To God be the glory. I'm so grateful. Hope you've enjoyed this tea with Tasha. Be blessed. Enjoy. And until we meet again.